Imagine a world where trade wars ignite a ban on a major U.S. website. Deadly storms claim lives across the South, and gold prices soar past $3,000 an ounce. All on St. Patrick's Day, 2025. It's March 17, and I'm David, your news reporter. Buckle up for the next few minutes as we dive into today's biggest U.S. financial, political, and world news. Stories that could reshape your wallet and your world. Today's headlines are a roller coaster. Financial markets are reeling from global trade tensions, political moves are sparking controversy, and international events are testing alliances. From Wall Street's jitters to Washington's bold plays and chaos overseas, I'll cut through the hype with the facts and a skeptical eye on the official spin. Let's start with the financial news shaking up the U.S. financial news. First, the U.S. financial markets are on edge due to escalating trade tensions. China's bank lending plummeted in February, a sharp drop from January's record high, signaling a slowdown that's rattling global investors. Reuters reports this comes as Trump's additional 10% tariffs on Chinese imports, effective March 4th, intensify economic pressure. The U.S. has already seen a staggering $4 trillion market value loss, with investors fleeing amid fears of a trade war fallout. Some counties that backed Trump are now feeling the sting of retaliatory tariffs, and the establishment claims these policies protect American jobs. But let's be real, higher consumer costs and market instability tell a different story. Is this protectionism or self-inflicted chaos? Adding to the unease, private credit firms, worth over $61 billion, are stepping into the breach where traditional banks hesitate, per Bloomberg. These lenders are fueling businesses with cash, but skeptics warn of a potential bubble if a recession hits, something Scott Bessent, a key economic voice, says isn't guaranteed to be avoided. The Federal Reserve meets this week, and all eyes are on whether they can soothe this tariff-jolted market. Don't expect miracles. Uncertainty is the dominant force. On a brighter note, CD rates remain competitive, with some institutions offering up to 4.50% APY for short terms, according to Yahoo Finance. It's a chance to lock in returns before rates likely dip further. Meanwhile, gold has surged past $3,000 an ounce in a historic safe haven rally, per Reuters, as investors hedge against geopolitical risks. But with Trump's policies possibly keeping interest rates higher, gold's upside might be capped. Another case where the official optimism doesn't fully match the data. U.S. political news. Turning to politics, the U.S. is in the thick of a trade war with Canada that's taken a bizarre turn. Canada is proposing to ban Pornhub in the U.S. as retaliation against Trump's tariffs, dubbed their nuclear weapon by Hindustan Times. This has Republican senators squirming, with CNN noting their calls for clarity on how these tariffs will hit American wallets. Trump's approval rating sits at 47%, his highest yet but below the typical post-inauguration bump, per NBC polling cited by CNN. The establishment hails this as a strong start, but the economic turbulence suggests a gap between rhetoric and reality. Domestically, Trump's agenda faces hurdles. A federal judge has temporarily blocked his fast-track deportation plan under the Alien Enemies Act, halting hundreds of deportations, per Reuters. This move has immigration advocates cheering, but could fuel Trump's base's frustration. Meanwhile, his ally at Voice of America has placed staff on leave, labeling the agency not salvageable, a decision criticized by the Association for International Broadcasting as a threat to global journalism. And in a wild claim, Trump alleges Biden used an auto pen for recent pardons, questioning his awareness. More political theater than substance, but it's keeping D.C. buzzing. The narrative of a seamless Trump term, it's looking shakier by the day. World news. Globally, the Red Sea is a flashpoint. The Houthis in Yemen claim to have fired 18 ballistic and cruise missiles at the USS Harry Truman, escalating tensions after U.S. airstrikes killed 31, including Houthi leaders, per Live Mint. Trump has promised overwhelming lethal force, and Senator Rubio backs continued strikes, but this cycle of retaliation risks broader conflict. Meanwhile, Trump and Putin are set to talk Tuesday about a Russia-Ukraine ceasefire, with Putin open to a 30-day truce but wary of Ukraine regrouping. Per NPR, NATO allies are divided on enforcement, adding to the uncertainty. Closer to home, a devastating storm system has killed at least 36 across the U.S. South, with Missouri reporting 12 deaths and Alabama's Alpine community reeling from tornado damage, per The Guardian. The National Weather Service notes these extremes aren't unusual for March, but the rising death toll amplifies climate concerns, something the establishment often downplays. In China, a fighter jet pilot safely ejected after a crash, and authorities are cracking down on AI-driven stock market misinformation, per Reuters. And in North Macedonia, protesters smashed a pub linked to a deadly nightclub fire, reflecting regional unrest. Critical takeaway and closing. So what ties today's? Chaos together, uncertainty, and a lot of it. The establishment pushes tariffs as economic salvation and Trump's policies as a triumph, but the markets, allies, and weather paint a grimmer picture. Watch the Fed this week for a potential lifeline, but don't bet on it. The blood moon. Eclipse from last week lingers in our minds, a reminder that even in turmoil, there's perspective. I'm David, and that's your Today, as rundown for March the 17th, 2025. Thanks for listening. I'll be back with more tomorrow. Stay informed.